All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today we're focusing on Tesla. And wow, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it seems like there's never a dull moment with Tesla.
For this one, we've got their company update plus a bunch of news articles.
Hmm.
And get this, safety incidents, some interesting stuff happening over in Europe, and of course, Elon Musk being Elon Musk.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
Definitely a lot to cover. So why don't we start off with this incident in Dresden, Germany, where a Model 3 caught fire. Now, luckily, no one was hurt and the fire was put out pretty quickly.
Right.
But still, it makes you think about battery safety, especially with electric vehicles becoming more and more popular these days.
It's definitely a top priority, and any fire, involving an EV is going to get attention. The investigation is still ongoing, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Could be a technical issue or, well, something completely different. I mean, even arson is a possibility, but whatever the cause, it does show how important those investigations are.
Yeah.
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 And transparency, too. We need those to make sure any safety concerns are addressed.
Now, speaking of, challenges, I guess, Elon Musk just made this pretty shocking announcement about Tesla's full self-driving system, the FSD.
Right.
He basically admitted that the current hardware 3.0, just isn't powerful enough to actually achieve full self-driving.
This is a pretty big deal, especially considering how many years we've been hearing that FSD is just around the corner.
Right.
To really get how big this is, you have to understand just how complex autonomous driving is. This system has to not only see its environment in real time, but also make decisions based on that data in a split second.
Wow.
Oh, and then it has to navigate all these unpredictable situations. I mean, the processing power you need for all that is just immense.
So then what does this mean for people who bought a Tesla thinking they'd get full self-driving?
Well, I think it means that full autonomy is, a lot further away than we thought. Musk did mention they're working on hardware upgrades, but this news is going to affect how people see Tesla. I mean, some people are going to feel like the goalposts have moved,
Yeah.
like they were promised something that isn't coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
And they're going to be wondering if it's even possible at all.
This has to be a big blow to the whole autonomous vehicle industry.
Absolutely raises some broader questions about how realistic fully autonomous driving really is.
Right.
And also about the timeline. I mean, developing this tech is incredibly difficult. And what Tesla's saying proves that there's still some big hurdles to get over.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what other companies working on autonomous vehicles do.
Totally. Now, it's not just tech problems that Tesla's dealing with. Their sales in Europe, especially in some big markets like Germany and France, have just plummeted.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking almost 60% drops. So what's going on over there?
There are actually a few things happening. There's more competition now from other EV makers. Some governments are reducing those subsidies they were giving out. And, well, there might be some backlash against some of Elon Musk's political endorsements.
Wait, political endorsements? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, he's been pretty vocal in his support for certain political figures and movements,
Oh.
notably supporting Germany's right-wing AfD party. And that's, caused controversy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And some analysts think that this could actually be turning off potential customers. So it brings up a good question, doesn't it? How much does a CEO's political views affect your buying decisions, especially with a global company like Tesla?
That is an interesting question. Let's shift gears now to something a bit more, positive. The new Model Y is getting a lot of attention for its safety features, and they've got this new 4D radar system that sounds incredible.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, what's so special about it?
This 4D radar can actually classify passenger size, so the airbags inflate with the right force for each person.
Wow.
This means there's less risk of getting hurt, from the airbag itself. It's a big step forward in passenger safety.
And then they've also added a system that can tell if a kid's been left alone in the car.
Yeah.
Sends alerts to your phone and can even call 911 if needed.
It's like a guardian angel in the back seat.
Yeah.
This tech could save lives. It addresses that terrible issue of kids being forgotten in hot cars, and this could actually set a new standard for child safety in the whole industry.
I wonder if other car companies will start adding similar features. Safety should be everyone's top priority.
It's definitely possible. I mean, if Tesla's innovations work well, it could influence safety standards across the whole car industry. Other manufacturers might start including these life-saving features in their cars, too.
All right, so we've talked about the fire, the FSD delays, and the sales slump in Europe. But we can't forget about the latest FSD software update, version 13.2.2. It seems like there was Well, a little bit of a hiccup with that one.
Yeah, there was a problem with the update, and Tesla had to stop it from going out. Apparently, it was stopping some cars from updating properly.
Oh, wow.
But they responded quickly and are working on a fix, which is good.
That's good.
It does show, though, just how important it is for that software to be reliable, especially in self-driving systems. Any little glitch or bug can have some serious consequences.
That's true. If you were a Tesla owner who uses FSD, would this situation make you less confident in the technology? Would you hesitate to use it knowing that a software issue could be dangerous?
I can see why people would have concerns. This just shows how important testing and continuous development are, especially for autonomous driving tech.
Right.
I mean, as we get more and more of these cars on the road, trust is really important. And to build that trust, companies like Tesla need to be open, fix problems quickly, and show that they really care about safety.
Okay, so before we move on, there's one more thing I wanted to bring up. I know it might seem kind of small compared to everything else we've talked about, but just hear me out. The color options for the new Model Y are really limited,
Oh, yeah, it is interesting.
especially in North America. Some of the popular colors like deep blue metallic and even just plain black aren't even available right now.
Well, for people who really care about the color of their car, there is some good news.
Okay.
Tesla's engineers have said that new colors are coming once they make more cars. They even joke that if you look around on the website, you might be able to figure out what those new colors will be.
Oh, wow. A little challenge for our listeners.
Yeah?
Well, speaking of that, what colors do you think Tesla should add? Do you have a favorite you're hoping for?
I'm kind of partial to a nice, vibrant green myself, but I'm also excited to see what new creative colors they come up with. Tesla has surprised us before with some pretty stylish options.
Yeah, they have. So that wraps up part one of our deep dive into Tesla. We've talked about a lot, from those safety concerns and FSD delays to the troubles in Europe, and even the big debate about color options.
And there's still more to come.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, before the break, we were talking about those new colors for the Model Y, but
Yeah.
let's shift gears for a bit and talk about Tesla's financials. There's been some talk about Kimball Musk, Elon's brother,
Yeah.
selling a bunch of his Tesla stock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with $27 million worth.
Wow.
And it happened the same week that Tesla stock went down by 7.5%.
Mhm.
Whenever someone who owns a lot of stock, especially someone so close to the CEO, sells that much, it definitely makes people wonder,
Right.
what does this mean for Tesla?
Yeah, does it mean he knows something we don't? Like, is there something bad about to happen? Or maybe it's just normal financial stuff.
It's hard to say for sure what Kimball's reasons were.
Yeah.
People sell stock for all sorts of reasons.
True.
Could be personal finances, could be wanting to spread their investments around, diversify.
Yeah.
But the timing is interesting,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of stock. So this might make some investors nervous, maybe it means they don't believe in Tesla's future.
It's definitely something to think about, especially with everything else we've been talking about with Tesla. The FSD delays, the problems in Europe.
It's important to look at the whole picture. Tesla's stock price is known for being a bit up and down. It reacts a lot to what people are feeling, what's in the news, and, of course, anything Elon Musk says.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's possible the stock sale is just, a small thing, and Tesla will continue to grow. But it could also mean that people close to the company are starting to have doubts.
We've talked a lot about the challenges Tesla's facing, but let's zoom out for a minute and look at the whole electric vehicle market.
Okay.
Tesla was really the first big player, but now it seems like everyone's making electric cars.
That's true. They aren't the only ones anymore. Big car companies and even new startups are putting tons of money into making and selling their own EVs.
So it's getting competitive.
Oh, yeah.
How is Tesla handling all this competition?
They're not just sitting around. Tesla's spending a lot on research and development, like improving batteries, making their factories better, and obviously working on that self-driving technology. They're also expanding their charging network, which has always been a big advantage for them.
Right, those superchargers make it so much easier to take long trips.
Exactly.
But aren't other companies catching up with their own charging networks too?
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing companies working together to build huge charging networks.
Wow.
And some are even partnering with existing charging companies to give their customers more options.
So it's becoming more convenient to charge an electric car no matter what brand you have.
Exactly. And all this competition is good for people who buy EVs. It pushes companies to be more innovative, prices go down, and it makes electric cars more attractive to more people.
Okay, so where do you see this all going? What are the biggest challenges and opportunities for Tesla as the EV market keeps changing so quickly?
Well, one big challenge, like we've talked about, is staying ahead of the competition, technology-wise.
Uh-huh.
Tesla needs to keep pushing the limits of what's possible, not just with the cars themselves, but also with the software, the batteries, and of course, self-driving.
Right.
That whole FSD thing shows how important it is for them to keep their promises in that area.
And we also talked about how, some of Elon Musk's statements have been controversial and could be hurting Tesla's image and sales in some places. Is that going to be a problem long term?
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Tesla and Elon Musk are very connected in a lot of people's minds.
I see.
He says a lot of things and does things in his own way, and that attracts a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But it can also turn some people off.
So how much should a CEO's personality and opinions be part of a company's image, especially when the world is so divided these days?
It's a tough question. On the one hand, a passionate visionary leader like Elon Musk can get people excited and really push a company forward.
Right.
But then what he says and does, especially online, can create bad press and make people trust the company less.
So it's a bit of a balancing act.
Exactly.
Besides technology and brand image, what else will determine how successful Tesla is going to be?
Being able to find and keep really talented people is huge.
Ah.
Everyone's looking for the best engineers, designers, and programmers, especially in EVs and self-driving. Tesla needs to offer a great place to work and pay people well if they want to stay on top.
That makes sense. You need the best people to make the best products. But it's not just about the tech itself, right?
You're right. Tesla's a global company. They need a team that understands different markets, cultures, and rules around the world. They need people who can handle those complicated supply chains, build relationships with partners and governments, and adjust their strategies to work in different regions.
And we've seen Tesla do some unexpected things in the past, like sharing their patents to encourage more innovation in electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll keep doing things differently in the future?
I think it's pretty likely. Elon Musk is known for thinking outside the box and taking risks.
Yeah.
Whether it's those advanced batteries, investing in solar energy, or even, space travel with SpaceX, Tesla, and the companies connected to it are always pushing boundaries.
It's exciting, but also a little scary, right? You never know what they're going to do next.
Exactly. Tesla always keeps everyone guessing. They're constantly changing things up and pushing the limits of what's possible. Whether you love them, hate them, or just like to watch what they do, you can't deny that Tesla's a major force in the car industry.
This has been a fascinating look at where Tesla stands right now. But the car industry is just one part of the story when we talk about the future of transportation, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. There's so much more to consider. All right, we're back for the final part of our Tesla deep dive.
This whole conversation has really got me thinking about the bigger picture, the future of transportation as a whole. It's not just about cars anymore, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, we're talking about a full-blown transportation revolution here. Technology, sustainability, changing needs. It's all coming together and reshaping how we get around.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. We've been focusing a lot on Tesla, but I'm curious about what this all means for, regular people like us, everyday drivers, commuters. How are these changes going to affect our lives in the coming years?
Well, one of the biggest changes we're going to see is just way more electric vehicles on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as the battery tech gets better and those production costs go down, EVs are going to be within reach for a lot more people.
Right.
And that shift will change a lot of things, from our reliance on oil to how our cities are designed.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting to think about cleaner air and, not needing to depend on oil so much. But what about the actual driving experience? Are we all going to be in self-driving cars soon?
Full autonomy is still a ways off, but we are definitely moving in that direction. Self-driving technology is evolving really quickly. And while there are definitely still some challenges, it has the potential to completely change transportation.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I'm sure one of the biggest benefits would be, fewer accidents.
Exactly. Human error is a major cause of car accidents.
Right.
And self-driving systems could pretty much eliminate that risk.
Yikes.
They don't get distracted, they don't get tired, they can react faster than humans,
Yep.
and they can even communicate with each other to avoid crashes. That can make our roads a lot safer.
It sounds amazing, but to be honest, I'm a little, hesitant to give up control completely.
I get that. I think there's something about driving that feels, freeing.
Mm.
But the good news is that this shift to autonomous driving is probably going to happen gradually. I think we'll have a mix of human drivers and self-driving cars on the road for a while.
Yeah.
This way we can all get used to these new technologies and figure out any issues as we go along.
So what can we expect to see in the near future then? Will our cars be able to park themselves or maybe even handle rush hour traffic while we just, relax in the back?
Those features are definitely on the horizon. In fact, we're already seeing some pretty advanced driver assistance systems in new cars. Things like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking are all laying the groundwork for more sophisticated autonomous capabilities.
It's kind of mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities, but I also wonder about the downsides. Like, what about all the people who drive for a living? If self-driving cars become the norm, what happens to truck drivers, taxi drivers, all those folks?
That's a really important point, and it's something that, policymakers and industry leaders need to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Like with any big technological change, some jobs are going to be lost. But history shows that technology also creates new jobs and even entire new industries.
It's like the Industrial Revolution all over again. Some jobs disappear, but new ones pop up, often in fields that didn't even exist before.
Exactly. The important thing is to handle this transition carefully.
Mhm.
We need programs to help people learn new skills, and we need to encourage the growth of those new industries that will be connected to autonomous vehicles and all that goes with them. There will be a need for people who can develop software, analyze data, work on cybersecurity, maintain the infrastructure, and so much more.
So, big picture, what do you think? What does the future of transportation look like to you?
I think we're headed towards a future where transportation is safer, cleaner, and more efficient. Electric vehicles are going to be the standard, and those self-driving systems are going to become a big part of our lives. But it's not just about the tech itself.
Right.
It's about how we use these advancements to build a system that works for everybody and is good for the planet.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about creating a way to get around that benefits everyone and the environment. Well, that brings us to the end of our Tesla deep dive. Wow, we covered a lot. From safety incidents and software hiccups to market trends and even, the bigger picture of what all these new technologies mean.
And this is really just the start of the conversation. The world of Tesla and the future of transportation are constantly changing. There's always something new to learn, something new to analyze, and new questions to think about.
I'm definitely leaving this conversation feeling, well, a little overwhelmed by how much is changing,
Yeah.
but also really excited about the possibilities. What's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from all this?
I hope they're feeling curious and maybe even a little excited about the future of transportation. We're at the beginning of a really transformative time, and it's a pretty amazing time to be a part of it.
I couldn't agree more. To all our listeners out there, stay curious, keep asking questions, and be part of this conversation as we move into this incredible new era of mobility. Until next time, happy driving, or maybe I should say happy writing.